Your new favorite country music festival is here and right in your backyard. The Country Fair is bringing Zach Bryan, John Pardi, Chris Young, and more to the fairgrounds at Chesterfield Amphitheater. May 19th through the 21st, 2022. Grab your friends and slide on your cowboy boots for a 3-day festival experience. Packed with country music's hottest stars, some of St. Louis's most popular eats and drinks, a free carnival with all your favorite rides upon festival entry, an authentic honky-tonk with live music, dancing, mechanical bull riding, and so much more. Kids under 12 free. Get your single-day ticket starting at $20 or 3-day passes now at ChesterfieldCountryFair.com.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another episode of the show. Today's features engineer, producer, singer-songwriter, guitar player. The guy does it all. Gerald Dusek of Dungeon Studios in Collinsville, Illinois. Had a whole lot of fun hanging out at his new recording studio, talking about everything he's been up to, talking about some of his brand new music he just released. And it's just a great day, great hang. Hope you enjoy this one. I do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler, located here in St. Louis, Missouri, over in the Maplewood area. Stop in and visit them or shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. And use my code RPP15 during checkout for an exclusive 15% off your purchase, including all your favorite beard oils, beard balms, their junk powder, any of their wonderful grooming products over there, anything to take care of that beard or mustache of yours. Roughneck Beard Company is proud to present a brand new beard oil blend called Comeback Kid. Spring is upon us and the world is rebirth. The pandemic seems to be winding down and life is beginning to resume. Try our brand new invigorating blend of lemon, peppermint, black pepper, rosemary, and ylang. It's the perfect blend to bring us all back to life. Comeback Kid is now available at roughneckbeardcompany.com. And again, use that code RPP15 during checkout. Also, big thank you to my friends at Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri. Stop in and visit them for all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps over there. And a full kitchen made up, they got all kinds of delicious food. Burgers, nachos, flatbread pizzas, pretzels, salads, all kinds of tasty things over there. So come on by for some dinner or some lunch, grab a cold beverage, and check it all out at Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri. Great live music all the time out there. Also, April 15th, you can catch First Things First there at 7 o'clock. And on Saturday the 16th, you can see Buddy E. And on Easter Sunday, they are doing an adult Easter egg hunt there on, that's April 17th. So come on out. You can find the full listing of events, their menu, their beer menu, the food menu, all that. Everything is at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. And be sure to follow along with them on Facebook and Instagram also to keep up to date. And tell them Shane sent you. If you need me, you can find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Feel free to hit me up on the socials. Email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you guys. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with my friend, Gerald Dusek.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hi, this is Gerald Dusek with Dungeon Studios in Collinsville, Illinois, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock, rock beats
Shane covers non-stop, never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot, could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the Rock Paper Podcast. Double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out at Dungeon Studios with Gerald Dusek.
Yep.
Welcome back to the show, man.
Welcome to the dungeon.
Yeah, this is cool. This is my first time here at the new spot, so I'm excited to be here with you today, checking it all out. And,
Brand new.
yeah, man.
Still has that, hopefully, new car smell.
New.
With just a hint of must, I guess. I don't know. A healthy amount of must.
Yeah,
We've had some sweaty dudes in here
sure.
already, which is good. We need more sweaty dudes in here.
Yeah.
What a way to start it off.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man. So we're in Collinsville, where the studio's at, and I think the last time we hung out was at your home, and we had a young man by the name of Justin.
Yep.
Coretta that sat in with us, and we had a lot of fun that day eating some Lion's Choice, and
I forgot about the Lion's Choice.
yeah, you can never forget about Lion's Choice.
Holy hell. I forgot about the Lion's Choice
Yeah.
already.
I had some sandwiches and played some tunes, and
That was a fun little night.
yeah, definitely. But since then, that was, and we'll get into some of it, but that was, talking about your 2019 Rivers EP that's out there. But since then, you really kind of ramped up this recording and stuff, and which is now why we have a studio. And
Yep.
so I thought this would be cool to really deep dive into that world that you're a part of. So
Yeah, that the first time we hung out in the basement, that was Studio V1.
all right,
I think everyone has a Studio V1 and starts in their basement. This is Studio V2 of hopefully many updates and
Yeah.
versions. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We kind of hit a point where, because my wife, she's a very creative person. She's one of the most creative people I know. And she had her creative endeavors. I had been talking about doing something like this for years. And neither one of us wanted to be those people who just talked about it for the rest of their lives and didn't do anything. And it really takes the littlest bit of effort just to get started, and a lot of people think that they just to get started is the most daunting thing in the world. Getting started is not the daunting part. You don't really know how daunting something is truly until you kind of look back on what you went through. It's because otherwise you don't really know what's ahead of you. So you should really just concentrate on getting started. And we ultimately just kind of decided, let's just start it. We had a kind of an opportunity come our way, and we went into this with like zero expectations of high success. I don't know. And I'm still kind of there. Like, we kind of went into this knowing we had nothing to lose. We got great day jobs. Not worried about that at all. But we didn't want to find ourselves 5, 8, 10 years down the road and we hadn't done anything.
right.
Because, at that age, pushing into our 40s, and it's just, I feel like it gets more difficult to do anything like this. I don't know. Maybe not, but that's kind of how we felt, and we kind of just said, fuck it, just do it.
Sure. Well, that's the thing. Like you start making everything an excuse. It becomes when we have more money, or when we have this or that, or then all of a sudden, now we have a child, a second child, whatever, and it's like you keep finding things that keeps pushing your dreams away, and it's like
you're gonna keep making deals with yourself,
right.
and like giving value to reasons that don't exist, really. It's like you're kind of like subconsciously trying to make yourself feel better with your own regrets. I don't know.
Yeah. I like to think about there's a great line from Mitch Hedberg when he was talking about I think it was like in job interview, and he's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? He's like, celebrating the 5th anniversary of you asking me this question, and like, so it's that kind of thing. It's like, let's just get started, and then we'll be thinking about this 5 years later. We'll be like, yeah, man, we're 5 years in, not 5 years of thinking about what if we started, that 5 years ago. So,
and it's been, we went through and she has a great store next to me. Just, it's Lou Bellin Bing. You can find her on social media. She has a great little store. So she really wanted to do her thing. And we had about it was about a 4-month build out process where we were just gathering materials, building the thing out, designing, procuring equipment. And I think we finally opened up in August. She had a grand opening. I think it was in August. And me right around the same time. I had to jump through some hoops with the city of Collinsville, which was actually pretty cool. Met some really great people and learned a lot in a very short amount of time. City stuff, I've always heard, like, owning a small business, that dealing with like licenses and like your local township and like the different laws they have in place, it could be pretty involved, and it certainly was. I had to have the whole property rezoned. I had to have the entire property rezoned to support a recording studio. It was like motion picture and sound recording, which is kind of interesting. This was a commercial space technically, so I had to like present in front of the entire zoning committee of Collinsville one night and like tell them what our plan was here.
Yeah.
Which was a great opportunity for me and kind of my inner circle of the people who were involved with this, just to kind of really lay out our intentions, even for ourselves. It just kind of made us to really line it out, kind of deal. So that was a pretty cool experience, and we could not be happier with the decision to move forward with all of this. And it's been a fucking adventure, but it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
It's been a lot of fun, and we've made this happen with like a super close-knit group of people who just were. They not only did they want to be involved, they were like just at the drop of a hat willing to jump in here and do stuff. I had Al stuffing this wall with soundproofing, and I mean, like, for a day, just stuff like that. It was dirty shit. It wasn't fun, right, kind of deal. But I feel like that's when, having a close-knit group of friends like that, that's when it really kind of shows the value of those relationships. And I don't know, man. It was a cool experience. I'm gonna look back on, if we shut down tomorrow, like, this has been like the coolest year I've ever had. And I think my wife would say the same thing. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, it's good to have those buddies that you can call on like that to drop everything and be there for you.
Yeah. And, we come from, Al and I were a part of a studio in Maryville for a couple of years, in like 2015, I think it was. One of our buddies, he opened up a studio in Maryville, and so it just kind of, it was a big space, and it just kind of showed us the do's and don'ts of operating a studio, designing a studio. It starts with designing it.
Right.
You have to kind of establish a mission statement. Like, yeah, you want a recording studio, but what is your recording studio? What's the mission statement of your recording studio? Like, what are you going to be tailored to? If you open up just a big space and you don't really have that kind of that idea of what kind of space you're going to have sharpened down, And here, I just really wanted to design I used the word a ton, was streamlined. I just wanted some, because I don't have much space here. I just wanted something streamlined and it made sense. Nothing was weird kind of deal. I mean, we're sitting on a fold down table. That's a little weird, but I didn't have much space.
Yeah.
But, it turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like, it's perfect for this little space. You can make the most out of this room and have it easily make it a lot more functional.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think so. It turned out pretty cool. We've packed a lot of functionality into this little room.
Yeah, I've been watching every now and then. Like, catch some. I don't get to watch a lot of TV, but you watch those like tiny homes shows and stuff, and it's like, man, that's some like pretty good ingenuity trying to come up with some of these ideas to make this little bitty space work. And
yeah, I'm a big fan of just clever design.
Right.
Not really trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I think Elon Musk says, I'm a big SpaceX fan, and he famously says the best part is no part. So I didn't want to like just cram a bunch of shit in here. And I wanted to be clever about how I did it. And luckily, Jeremy, my buddy Jeremy, he's like a professional woodworker. So, I mean, we came up with this table design, and he had it done in like a day. I mean, we just had kind of the right cast of characters to kind of make this all happen the way it did.
Yeah, man.
In the right lines of work. But yeah, the tiny home is kind of a good comparison. I mean, we can comfortably fit. I tailored this space to like 4 musicians. It would be kind of crammed, but you could probably fit 4 musicians in here and relatively comfortably, I guess,
right.
And with a tinier drum set. But I mean, for like just single, like multi-tracking, like you can fit a pretty big drum set in here with a fully mic'd kit. And so I think it's pretty versatile. It's not a gigantic orchestral live room.
Right.
I don't know, but it's pretty functional, and we've made some pretty good recordings out of here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, man. And we're actually using it right now. You said, along with bands coming in and artists, that you're also doing more podcasting. You got a couple of regulars that come in here every week to record with you. And
yep.
So this table that we're talking about functions as the podcast table, and that's where we're sitting at right now. And so if you like the way this sounds, you can come on over.
And that's Cabernet Red, by the way. Cabernet Red. This was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
This thing weighs about, I think the tabletop weighs about 100 pounds. And it's like 3 inches. It's about 3 inches, I would say, of this epoxy shit. When it dries, it weighs a ton.
Yeah.
And you had to do it in different layers. So that's how you could get like the shadows and stuff like that.
Right.
But anyway, I wanted the table. So my whole idea was I wanted this room. I wanted a bunch of like dark neutral colors. And I liked the idea of having like a dark charcoaly wood, which is the wood wall in the back. And then when we had the idea for the table, I wanted the tabletop, when you dropped it down, I wanted like it to be like, I wanted some kind of color that popped. Like, so when you pulled this down, you were like, holy shit, that's badass kind of deal. And we landed on this like red, and I really kind of like, we ended up with like a black, brown, and red kind of thing in here, which I think is kind of cool. I think it turned out kind of neat.
Well, and I feel like those colors are all, if you think of a dungeon, black, brown,
blood and shit. And I've been calling it like Dungeon Red. I just got a brand new microphone that's like the exact same color of this, which is pretty cool. But I think it turned out kind of cool. Again, I kind of wanted it dark a little bit.
Is that where, I mean, did Dungeon come first, or is that
Dungeon came first? So
yeah.
I've had the idea of owning a studio called Dungeon Studios since like 2008, and it started with the idea. This is back when I was in bands. I was in that band up there, and I was spending every single night in basements, like dark basements, recording and tracking music. And eventually I started calling it like my dungeon. Like I was in a dungeon, like recording music just by myself every single night, all night long. I was up all night, and it kind of, the word dungeon just came up in my head. So since like 2008, I've had the idea of make dungeon studios.
Yeah.
So
this has been the dream for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So that you're talking the new translation and the
Yep.
City Avenue days. You recorded all that, or you worked on recording some of those things. Like
yeah,
the
none
demo?
of we were in studios for both of those, but as far as like tracking
Well, but
demos,
like, demos at least, and
yeah, we were we did a lot of tracking in Jeremy's basement out in Highland, and Al's basement. He was living in Collinsville for both bands, really, and then those were really the two houses where we spent the most time, I think, recording music, and then my house a little bit, but for the most part, we were always either rehearsing at Jeremy's house or at Al's house, so I was locked in other people's basements, which is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool, man, because like it's inspiring for me, because like a lot of what you're saying and things are ideas that I've had myself.
Yeah.
I don't know about fully going into business, but I think about like I'm right now I'm in the early stages of building a new home.
Yeah.
And I have this idea like building out my basement for like a studio, like
Sweet.
something like what we're sitting in, and to do the podcast, but maybe and I also have like more of a space where I can do some things like having bands come in and play live or whatever, like,
oh, cool.
I don't know, just these I have ideas, like it's just a matter of time, money, and everything else, but also a big part of that I'd like to incorporate was also having I'd like to start doing like house concert kind of stuff, and I think that would be just if I have the room, I think it'd be neat to invite artists to come over, like if they're touring through and they can have a place to stay the night at my house, and
That'd be cool.
give them a meal and shower and get back on the road. And
I don't know. It's just the whole idea of just starting on it.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen all at once, kind of deal. Like,
Sure. Well, I mean, I feel like
that's badass, Shane.
I feel like all this is like leading up to that. So like it's it's definitely, and just like you, I mean, like it didn't start with the studio. It was years in bands. It was networking through the community and stuff. You had to meet all these right people to help get you to this point today.
Yep.
So you like I said, you learn from either the basement recordings or the time in your friend's studio, and all these little things. You learn tricks from everybody, and then until you can finally make it your own. So anyway, like that's where I'm kind of at now. I feel like I'm finally at that point where like it makes sense to like try to take it to the next level and do something with it. And like, so I don't know, right now it's still just an idea, but that's what I think it'd be fun to take the podcast up to the next level and put some more production into it. And
I think the other thing too is and this is something I don't think not most, but a lot of people aren't able to do, is just recognize opportunities when they come their way, but also recognize opportunities that you can kind of glue certain goals to. Like if you're building this house, explore that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like see where that leads. And again, if it doesn't lead, if you leave a little bit, like a healthy margin of, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Right.
Like, kind of deal. Like that's what we did here. And maybe it's a little pessimistic, but I think it kind of made the experience a little bit more tolerable. Sounds like a bad word, but just like, I don't know. It left a little more room for like, fuck it, let's do this, like kind of deal. Like, and a lot of times that can lead to really kind of creative roads that you didn't expect to go down.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I love that's really the gist of this whole thing. Like I've learned to just say yes to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where it's going to take me.
Yeah.
Might be awesome. It's like so I learned just, or even when I approach this show, like I don't like to like prepare a whole lot. I mean, just like we did today, I like to press and record and see what happens and kind of thing, and see where the conversation takes us. And it's that same kind of mentality, like just being along for the ride, like see where this thing goes. And if you spent all those years, like you said, thinking about trying to make it perfect, and then you're already way behind. So
I recently just did a Voyage STL reached out to my wife and I, and we did a couple of interviews for them. But they had a really great great question in there about risk and how we approach risk as like artists and like small business owners and stuff like that. It was a really great question, and I actually put a lot of thought into how to answer that. And basically, I struggle a lot with taking risks. And that's kind of was part of the equation of opening up the studio and the store was I feel like I haven't taken enough risks throughout my life. I think I've played it pretty safe compared to some other people. And what is it? Fortune favors the brave kind of deal. That popped into my mind as I was answering it. But I think that's totally true. And if you're not willing to take a little bit of risk, which I really haven't throughout my like adult life.
Right.
This was my big yes. You mentioned like how you've been saying yes to everything. I struggle with that, and I wish I didn't as much because, we were talking. It kind of led me down the path of like saying like, like I said before, we have great day jobs, and like we could totally just go down and like be fine and like be happy. But you would just have the weight of those what ifs kind of on your shoulder. I know that sounds like a cliche, but like it's so true. Like
right. There's a reason they're cliches.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Like and I just didn't want to. I feel like I could have done a lot more had I been just a little bit more risky throughout like my 20s and stuff like that. And I think I had a full decade in my 20s. No big regrets. I just had, some opportunities that who knows what would have happened if I would have done this kind of deal. And I feel like everyone has those types of moments. But I don't know, it's something I struggle with. And when this came along, I was like, dude, we gotta do something. Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to go into my 30s and end up in my 40s and not.
Right.
Had taken some kind of risk, calculated risk.
All right.
But
yeah, man. Well, so Dungeon Studios, honestly, like we're saying, is up and going. If you want to come over here and record with Gerald, we'll get you on the calendar.
Yep.
You can reach out through Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And what's the email?
Email is dungeonrecordingco@gmail.com.
There it is.
It was the only one available.
Yeah.
I had to put the co at the end.
But I say we share a little bit of some of your work. This was we just released a brand new single that will, like you said on the first, it'll be available everywhere.
Yep.
And this is a cover, but you definitely flip it, and it sounds super cool, man. But this is a Phil Collins, Easy Lover, right?
Philip Collins, yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And but this is your take, and you also Justin helped you with this, right?
Oh yeah, he recorded a badass guitar in the bridge, and he's kind of the same thing like Al. Al's the resident bass player. Justin's kind of the resident soloer. He's a great soloing. He's a great lead guitar player, and I am very much so a rhythm player. I can chunk along and shit and power chord my way through most songs, but he's a fantastic guitar player, and he came in one morning and just basically sat down and did that, which was badass. It turned out really, really cool. I was really happy with how this turned out.
Yeah. And all this recorded at Dungeon, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah. This was the first song I personally put together here in the studio.
nice, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
That it's again, it's nice to have those friends that are specialized in some of those things where you can like, hey, you're much better at this than I am. You do what you do, and
Yeah, we've been able to compartmentalize our talents
Right.
between one another, so
Yeah.
it's worked out really nice. And it's really nice that we just kind of struck this bottomless source of just creative energy years ago between us, and the fact that we are still so in love with this process of making music still.
Yeah.
Like, not one of us really fell out of it, which is incredible. I mean, that's like over the span of 15 years, which is nuts. Like, so having them still here and us all doing this kind of thing at this level, I mean, Al's killing it. Justin, he's killing it. And, I got this going on. So it's just kind of cool. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So where does the idea for releasing a cover tune come up? Is this one that you listen to quite a bit, I guess, or
no? I think it was kind of on a dare.
Yeah.
I think Justin actually dared me to do it. I think that's really how it turned out.
Okay.
And I was like, I think my first words were, "Give me 48 hours," and that didn't turn out. It took me like
47.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, I don't know. It took me like 6 months of talking about it. And these cover songs are a ton of work. They really are. Like, when the rubber hits the road, one, you gotta kind of decide what kind of genre you want it to be. Because really, covers, you can send off in any direction you want them to go. But when I sat down and hear, it's a pretty technical song. So it was a lot of work, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. It turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, it's just I love that about a cover. Like, for I don't know, everybody's got a different approach to it, but some people try to stay true, you know, and don't really want to put a ton of creative freedom on it, but
extra icing.
But I love when people flip it. Like, I love also, like, personally, when I go to a show and then somebody, like, I don't really know that they do it, and then all of a sudden I'm like listening to it, like, hey, wait a second, I know this song.
Yeah.
And then all that, like, the hook comes in and you're the big singer or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like, and so that's one of my favorite things, when they like completely disguise the song where it's like it's nothing even hardly original, or close to the original. But I mean, this still has the bones. The structure of the song is just a little more pop rock in there. And,
yep. I would. I think the drums are almost verbatim.
Yeah.
I recorded the drums. I just wanted a more modern, like, because you listen back on that song. I mean, they're pretty. It's kind of stadium rocky a little bit, but like super early.
Right.
So I really like the idea of taking that era of songs, like the ones that still have a little bit of that, like tape kind of like fizziness and like dirtiness to them, like where it still all kind of sounds like it was recorded in one take a little bit, but then bringing that into a studio and then just like producing the hell out of it kind of deal. Tastefully. I think that's just always kind of fun. But I think the way I do it, I really like to look at these songs and almost like tear them down and like figure out the most fundamental like flavors and ingredients. Whether like what is the song, what makes this song, whether it's like the percussion or like the guitar licks or I don't know. I try and boil it down and see what's kind of left there, what's still standing there if you boil all the water off. And that's where I kind of start. And then from there, you can kind of figure out what elements you want to keep and what you want to build on and stuff like that. And it becomes like this really cool, it becomes this really cool process of like tearing a building down and then building it back up again, almost using the same pieces but different in a way. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but it's fun. It does take a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't know. It was so I went to see Justin Willman at the pageant. He's a magician comedian.
Okay.
He does Magic for Humans on Netflix. I don't know if you ever.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's a great series, and he's incredible at what he does. Actually, he's from St. Louis also, which is cool. It was like a nice hometown show for him.
Cool.
And,
yeah.
But guy's just been crushing it. But he did this like really cool. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain because it's a visual.
Yeah.
But he took like it was like a frame, picture frame with like these like pieces, like they're all like random shapes that fit inside this box. And he's like, but if you put them one way, they don't fit in the box. But then all of a sudden he turns them the different way. And then there was like a one piece that snaps in and makes it complete. And like, and it was this beautiful story about his family and his mother was that, like that piece that completed everything, put it in like, and anyway, it was just like, but it was really cool to see like the visual of like there's no way that these are all going to fit in that box, and then he turns everything. And so that's what I thought of when you're like talking about breaking it down and rebuilding it back up.
Yep.
It's like it's just cool to see it. It's been one way forever, and then now it's something. The same pieces are still there. It's just now it's a whole new thing. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great way of putting it, and it's weird because you are usting the same ingredients, but you're not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know how else to put it.
Right. But it was cool though. Like I don't know if I'll see if I can find a video of Justin doing that segment. But
I went to one magic show. This is a tangent, but I went to one magic show, and it was like I went in. I was like, okay, let's go. I think I won them on the radio. My wife and I did. We went and we were like, let's just go to the magic show.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. It was so badass. Yeah. And they did this. It was like a traveling group. So it was like different people who'd come out. They'd have like different personas and they would do their act and shit. And one of them was like this mind trick thing. But I know you see these videos online or like, and you kind of, when you're watching online, you're like, oh, they just did this, this, and this. But when you're like in there with like 1,000 other people or whatever it is, and they're doing this thing, like it's kind of, in the moment, it's mind blowing. It was pretty cool. Anyway.
He was doing a similar mind thing where he was like, it wasn't like a fully, but like he has a memory of like all these like state capitals and all this information. Like, and people were like saying, oh, no, it was zip codes. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was numbers. So he would say like, so people would just start saying out their city where they're from, and he would immediately tell you what your zip code was, and it was like, I don't.
How does that work?
All right, yeah, that's what. But he said there is like a pattern like across the country, I guess, for zip code wise, but still like to remember those numbers in that order, like I don't know, and who knows if he was really right every time, but people were like, yep, that's it, and like, but it was. I mean, if any of it was true, like it was pretty impressive. Like,
it was something like that too. Like in the moment, it was like, dude, how the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
How there's no like I'm the kind of guy who like anytime I start a series, like at home, I watch it pisses my wife off so much. I watched the last episode, like. It's the same thing with when I was reading books, like back in the day. I don't read books anymore. But I'd read the very beginning of the story, and I'd read the very end of the story. It's because I like knowing the path ahead of time. I kind of like the journey in between and seeing how they do it. How do they get from here to here? So I kind of was thinking the same thing with the magic. It's like in that moment, I'm just really concentrating on like, okay, I'm just very calculative about like how he's getting from this, the start of this to the ultimate like product. And some of these things, like the zip code thing, it's like something like that. It doesn't make any sense how someone would be able to do that. There's no calculation. There's no like process that I can come up with that would describe or solve how they're doing that. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, that's the thing. Like he does it all on the show, and there's so many of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
how? Like, what? How did how that is in? I don't know. The whole time I'm just like, what?
Yeah. I guess the point I was kind of trying to make, because I feel like that was kind of messy, was I'm almost more impressed. Like, if I knew how they were doing it,
Yeah.
I'd be more impressed with the fact that they designed something like that, like how to get that information and how to shape it into like a magic trick. I'd be more impressed with that almost than like just, you know, being ignorant to it and like seeing it happen in front of me kind of deal. I don't know.
Right. But yeah.
Anyway, that was a tangent. Sorry.
Check out Justin Willman, Magic for Humans, if you get some time. It's very well, and that's the thing. Like, it's not just the magic's good, but the comedy is just as good too.
Yeah.
So it's really funny and
Was he
entertaining.
on the Riz Show? Maybe
I'm sure he probably said
he
in
might have
when,
been on the
when
Riz
he,
Show
when
at
he
one
came
point.
to town.
Yeah, I think
he's like, and he's done a bunch of podcasts and he's Tonight Show and everything.
Oh, wow.
He's done it all. Like,
Okay.
he's a big deal.
Let's go to a magic show.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to?
All right, bye everybody.
Bye. See ya. We both leaned out of the mics.
Right. Gotta, it's all a bit.
It's all a show, Shane.
Yeah. But so Easy Lover is going to be available April 1st on all your digital platforms that we were talking about. But I want to kind of go back a little bit. Like I said, the last time we spoke was your Rivers EP, which was like your first approach as a solo artist, right? Like
for the most part. I had some stuff in college, but kind of like what you and I were talking about off air, and like rebranding and having like older stuff.
Right.
It's out there, but I'm not gonna tell you guys where to find it. Kind of deal. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was my first like, I don't know, serious endeavor with like kind of knowing what I'm doing as far as like promoting and stuff like that, because I didn't know how to promote when I was in the bands and stuff like that. I relied on other people that do that, and I'm still really bad at it. But that was kind of, you're right, my first kind of entrance into like putting out like a 5, 6, there might be 7 songs on that. No, I think there's 6 song EP by myself, but promoting it, doing all that, and yeah.
And then in 2021, you'd released Creatures EP, which is out there also readily available everywhere. But we wanted to highlight a track that you kind of pushed as the single for that, which is called Daydreaming.
Just Dreaming.
Sorry.
Nope. You're good. Just Dreaming. It's kind of
where I added Dave from, but
I don't even know where. I had to think about it. I was like, we're coming up on a year now, and I didn't perform any of these songs live anywhere, so I'm at the point now where I.
Was there like a pandemic or something going on, or what?
There was a pandemic going on.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there was a pandemic. So I put it out there, and it's just kind of sitting out there.
Yeah.
But because I had to think about when you said daydreaming, I was like, daydreaming. I like that song.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I just make up my own names from it. So.
Hoping for something more.
obviously a super weird time for anybody releasing music, but people kept trying to like. I think there was like the whole battle between like, do we put it out even though we can't perform it, or tour behind it, or do any of this stuff?
Yeah.
But also people are at home like and need something to listen to, so maybe they'll listen to it. So it's like it was a weird, back and forth. The people, I feel like a lot of artists were debating on should we even do this or not. And
I'm gonna miss, and I hope they stick around. I personally really enjoyed them, those live stream concerts, like live in quotations, because I don't think any of them were actually live. But you bought tickets to them,
right?
And I really don't know where they went after that, but I would think that if you bought tickets to them, that was like the one time you could view that performance.
I think it depends on how you did it. I mean, I think there was different platforms and stuff. Some of them,
like paid platforms, I guess you can get back on.
I think there's stuff that I'm sure you can. But yeah, I think kind of a lot of them. That's kind of was the trick. Was like the one and done kind of thing. Like,
yeah, we watched one of. I hope they stick around because I thought those were super cool. Because you could come home and look forward. Oh, I got the live concert Friday night, and you can make like snacks. And my wife and I, we made a couple of awesome nights at home, like around these like live stream concerts. We did one of Young the Giant, and then we did one of which was really cool. And Foo Fighters did one, which is a terrible time to bring up the Foo Fighters. God damn it.
Yeah.
But we did one of that, and it was awesome. It was badass.
I was thinking about that today. I was since you mentioned it, but I was like, we are recording today, the day that it was announced that Taylor had passed, and which man, I don't know, like it hit me hard. Like I don't know him. I've never even seen Foo Fighters live, but just like especially 50 years old, he's a talented young man, and had like all this stuff, and it just like it was really really hit hard this morning. And I was like, damn, I did not.
It shouldn't have been him,
right?
I know that can be said about anyone who passes away like that, but Taylor Hawkins was like soaked in youth. Like he was just such a youthful guy, and he was. I was talking to Al and Justin this morning about this. Like he was supposed to be cool forever, like him and like Dave Grohl. I mean, they were just supposed to ride off into the sunset, like, and just grow old and just be cool for the rest of their lives. Like, yeah, I'm not an emotional guy when it comes to like celebrity deaths. Right. I'm just not that kind of guy. But when Chris Cornell passed, I woke up and I sat up in bed and I like yelled out loud. I was like, "What the fuck?" And so Chris Cornell was a big one for me. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to play Point Fest that day, I think it was. So I had been excited to go see. Chris Cornell is like one of my like vocal idols, and I've been listening to him for years. But Taylor Hawkins, man,
yeah,
I was really bummed. I found out last night. I guess it was like what? It's like 9 o'clock, I think, when people really started sending tweets out and social media posts.
Well, he was supposed to play. I guess they were supposed to play in Columbia or whatever, something like that. And then like, so there's a picture of like they put candles all over the stage, and
saw that.
And I was like, but yeah, man, it was heavy, man. Like I fell asleep early last night because I woke up early and I just didn't go out. So I was like, I was flooded with it this morning when I woke up, and like my whole Facebook feed was full of people posting things, and I was like, geez, man, like I don't know, like, and it felt good in a sense that so many people, even though we don't know them, but we were all connected through the music, and we all like can share that. I don't know. So those things are nice to see people sharing different memories or stuff like that. And but no, I mean, it was pretty brutal, man.
It was. I mean, and it really physically feels like a gut punch. Yeah. It was one of those moments where I got the text. It was my little brother who texted me, and I don't know how he found out about it before I did, but he texted me and he said, drummer for Foo Fighters just died. And immediately didn't believe him. Got online, and you almost literally feel like someone punching you in the gut in moments like that. And I don't know, it shouldn't have been him.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that band again was just supposed to be cool forever. Mm-hmm.
I shared a good video of him. I guess they said it was his last performance with the band, him doing a cover of Queen's.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think
Somebody to Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
He was a Queen fanatic.
Yeah.
He like idolized Roger Taylor, and that's how he started playing drums. I read a quote today, like he had wanted to play stadium shows like Roger Taylor since he was like 10 years old. And I don't know, man. He was one of those few people where, because a lot of times you could say you don't know what you got until it's gone, but I feel like someone like Taylor Hawkins and just like that whole Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins and Dave Grohl, the rest of the band, I love the rest of the band, but those two guys, like, you did know what you have. Mm-hmm. And like, you were so aware of what you had with those two that you were like, you just didn't want to believe that this could ever happen. I don't know. I never thought that. Same thing with Dave Grohl. Like, I don't think Dave Grohl's ever going to die. It's Dave Grohl. Like, he's going to go on forever and just, like, again, just be cool the rest of his life. And I don't know. That sucks. And I don't know what this means for the Foo Fighters. Like, I guess I can't imagine the Foo Fighters going on without Taylor Hawkins, especially at 50. You know, I think Dave Grohl's even like 55 or something like that. Maybe not that old, but I don't know, dude. It was a bummer.
Yeah. I think there's like, I felt the same kind of way with when Dusty Hill from ZZ Top passed. I was like, I don't know that ZZ Top can survive without him. Like, it was, you know, especially he's been a member of the band for 50 years. Like, you know, it's like those guys, those three have been doing it. And like, but they specifically, you know, chose to go on without him with their guitar tech filling in, who also has a beard. But he's been playing, you know, knows all these songs, and but it was Dusty's request, like, you guys got to keep going, don't, you know, so you know.
How long's that been? Was it like 6 months?
Yeah, it hadn't been long. Yeah, but I mean, like, at least Dusty was aware, like, he was coming to an end, and he told the band to keep playing. But that's the story. But so I could see like that going on in his memory. But I don't know. It's I think it's all case by case kind of thing. Like, you know, just like, but he's obviously a vital piece of that project, and like it's be an impossible seat to fill. So
that's I mean, he was just famous for like his smile. He had like one of the best smiles in rock and roll, I would say. Like, dude, he just, every time he was playing drums, he looked like, it never went away. It just looked like he was living his dream every time he was playing drums, like on a big stage.
Time
like
of his life up there, yeah. And even in that video, you know, like Dave's like, I watched this morning. Dave's like, this is the best fucking drummer with the best fucking singer, and all like, you know, and all stuff. And he's like, you know, no. He's like, and he gets up there and he sings, and he's like, I got the, you know, best fucking drummer. You know, like, so he turned the tables on Dave, and
it was just a fucking like dynamic duo. And who knows, man? It sucks. I'm glad he was around last year when they got inducted, and I'm glad he got to see that. I just didn't see. No one ever sees it coming, but man, I did not see that shit coming.
Is Cornell? You said that's the one, the other big one that kind of
for me.
Yeah,
Cornell, like losing Cornell, and for him to have gone out the way he did, it was like, I don't know. It was like I didn't think people really went to those places who are at that level of their career.
Right.
This sounds dumb, but like, I don't know. I guess he had always had trouble, which you listen to his lyrics now, and it's like, fuck, maybe he did. Like,
yeah, that's the one thing I noticed. When you listen to those lyrics back and you think about, man, it's like, oh shit, it's all right there.
It is all right there.
It's like,
I guess same thing with like Chester Bennington. He was another one, and I don't think I don't know. Had I been a little bit older,
right?
I think when Chester died, I think I was still kind of in like I had my blinders on in most of my 20s, and like shit would go down and I'd be like, oh, that happened.
Yeah.
What's next? Had I been a bit older when Chester died, I think that would have hit me a little bit harder.
Sure.
But Chris Cornell, man, it was like,
I kind of feel like
It's
I mean,
just random. I thought. I don't know.
it's a different world, obviously, but like I think about we also just lost Scott Hall the other day.
Okay, yeah.
From WWE, WWF, and
Yeah, I did hear about
all that. But he, obviously, his was a lot of alcohol and drug abuse, and and his physical abuse from his own body from wrestling and stuff. But I think is a similar kind of thing in a sense. Like these guys are literally larger than life characters, wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we look at rock stars the same way. Like these guys are these like superhuman characters,
Untouchable.
So it's the same kind of thing. Like but they're still just regular people.
I would add that what made the Foo Fighters so popular was they seemed so down to earth at the same time.
Sure. Dave seems like one of the coolest that you'd ever, just want to party with sometime.
And it's like even beyond, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people say that, but it's like, it's kind of beyond a cliche now. It's just like they've reached a level in their career. Like again, they were going to go down as like, it's the Foo. I mean, they were like Aerosmith level rock stars where they were just going to be there forever, kind of deal. Fucking Ringo Starr's still alive. Yeah. We were talking this morning. It's like Ringo Starr outlived Taylor Hawkins. Like, that sounds really morbid. It's like, but Taylor Hawkins shouldn't have died, man. That sucks. No one knows how he died, I guess, yet.
Yeah. I listened to Dave was on Stern show, it's probably a year ago now or whatever, but I was listening to this interview and he's like he said he was hanging out at Paul McCartney's house and they were like having pizza and like Taylor Swift was there and like they just like jammed and like play and stuff. Like I was just like,
I think I heard this interview.
I'm like, what the like? Is this real? Like this doesn't sound like a real story. Like that, Dave Grohl, Paul McCartney, and Taylor Swift are just hanging out eating pizza. And like
what
I don't
they
know.
do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know. It was just but it was just funny listening to his story. I'm just like,
But I think he was pretty self-aware. I think that's what makes him so down to earth is that they're very self-aware guys because he was self-aware enough to realize like, what a crazy situation I'm finding myself in right now kind of deal. And not a lot of people would like tell those kinds of stories again. Like it's just they've been in that life for so long and like that's just what they expect. But Dave Grohl and that whole group, it just seems like they still have their feet pretty well planted, if not on the ground, pretty close to the ground. And again, are self-aware enough to understand that lifestyle is fucking crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I need a beer. Do you want to get a beer?
Let's do it.
Can I get you a Keystone?
Sure.
All right, cool. How is that Keystone?
It tastes like beer.
That's a good answer. I knew we were going to cover that at some point.
Yeah.
It was a bummer, man.
Yeah. Let's change gears a little bit. I don't, it's hard to transition out of that, but
you have to.
Yeah, it's but yeah, R.I.P. Taylor Hawkins.
Cheers, Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah, man, cheers.
Oh, he would have loved Keystone. He would have loved a nice cold Keystone.
Do you remember those silly commercials, Keith Stone?
I do remember those. I've been living in the Busch Light world now for a few years.
All right.
And so all we've been saying to each other is Busch
lattes.
Busch lattes.
Yeah.
That became the new PBR, I feel like, Busch Lights.
Yeah.
Stags are up there now, too, as far as like the hipster beer, the number one hipster. I feel like PBR's been kicked down to like number 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Keystone was up there for a bit. I feel like back in my day.
Well, I wanted to ask you some of these questions.
Yeah.
Get your take on some of this stuff. All right. So let's start with we have a Gerald Dusek action figure.
Okay.
What would you like to see as your like 3 accessories to go with your action figure?
Ooh, a Crave case.
Nice.
Let me think here. A book of matches. And a Crave case, book of matches.
I mean, what more do you need?
I guess we'll say a soccer ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You said yeah, like yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you're always carrying around your soccer ball. So
I was trying to think of something stupid.
yeah.
I didn't want to say guitar. That's stupid. Soccer ball, Crave case, and a book of matches.
Yeah.
All right.
Not stupid at all.
Okay, cool. I like it. That's a good question.
Do you is there any significance to that? Or do you collect? I know people collect matches. Books of matches are like different.
No significance at all whatsoever.
Just thought of that.
Yeah.
But I've seen like they try to different bars or clubs or whatever.
Yeah.
That, they have their own name printed on them.
Yeah, my stepdad has a big collection of like matchbooks and like old lighters,
Yeah.
like old copper and brass lighters. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't collect anything, and I wish I did. You collect anything?
Music memorabilia. I have like
Yeah.
a whole room of, just like show posters and records, signed records, and I have a fivefold Derek Husky cymbal.
Do you?
Yeah,
Nice.
crack cymbal.
Yeah.
I have a many colored death signed drum cymbal also.
Cool.
Or drum head. And then I don't know. So it's different things. I have like some cool things like that they've all like. So I just have like a spare bedroom in the house that just like been just a catch all. But when I have the basement studio space and all the other, when I actually have a proper space to display everything, and that's
that'll be cool.
That's when all these things will be coming out in storage. And
Collections are expensive, and I don't mean the collections themselves. I mean like properly displaying them and that sort of deal. I would love to get some kind of collection going, and that's another thing I've thought about for years. But you just gotta start, I guess.
Yeah.
You just gotta buy something.
All right. Yeah. That's mostly what I mean. Like, I have a ton of DVDs.
Do you?
But I don't know. I don't know why I'm holding on to them. Everything. I don't really ever watch them anymore. Not like because everything's on.
I don't know.
Streaming, but
we haven't thrown away a DVD, and I don't think I've ever thrown away a DVD. It's like something you don't really think about throwing away.
I've still got the VHSs also.
Do you? I don't have many VHSs, but I got every single DVD I've ever owned in my entire life.
Yeah.
You just don't think about throwing those away. You're like, I'm going to watch these.
Yeah.
And like,
I never do. Yeah.
I guess you're just stuck in the mentality of like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely, that's about all I collect really is the music stuff.
I got the box sets, director's cuts of all the Lord of the Rings. And then I have the theatrical release version of every single movie. So I guess that's a collection. It's a little collection.
All right.
Yeah, see?
There you go.
I got to figure out how to display them.
All right. Yeah. All right. What about
you can't top that first question. You can't top
just
that
wait,
first
man.
question.
Just you wait.
You got a good list there, but I don't think you can top
I don't
that.
know. These are all like just silly things I think of sometimes. And
You wrote these?
no, I didn't write all of them, but
Okay.
but I've added some that I think of sometimes. And
That's cool.
a lot of these are just impossible scenarios to think about.
It's a good collection.
Yeah.
Of
Hey,
questions.
there you go.
Wow.
All right. What about now? You've got to work with a lot of cool people already, but is there a dream duet or collaboration you like to see for yourself, and maybe even in the studio and stuff? Is there
Like no boundaries as to
No, it's a dream, man. It's your dream.
Huh. All right. I mean, Jerry Cantrell,
Yeah.
Alice in Chains.
He seems like another one that's like super cool too. Like,
Yep. He's my guitar idol, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love everything he's ever done.
And I think a lot of people, I mean, obviously Lane is incredible, but like, I don't think people fully realize how much of those vocals are Jerry. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that
If you listen to his solo stuff, like, you wouldn't know any better that it's not Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
So, just to your point, like, he really, I mean, Lane is Lane, you know, he's a legend, but you're absolutely right. You listen to some of those recordings, a lot of that famous, like, stacked vocal sound is Jerry, which is pretty cool.
I have some buddies that own Sugar Fire, and
Okay.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I should. It's not. I wasn't like really a public thing, but either way, I don't think anybody would care. I tell the story, but he posted online. I mean, it was a public thing. So, but they like catered, or I don't know, whatever it was. But they, like, Alice in Chains was coming to play the pageant and had like a day off, and they gave them dinner or however it worked out, and then Jerry's like, you guys want to go golfing? And so they went golfing with Jerry Cantrell and
God.
And so he spent the whole day like just hanging out with Jerry and golfing and eating barbecue or whatever.
Well, they're big sports guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's a big, like, Seattle fan. Like, he has a bunch of, like, Seattle jerseys he wears out. I think he goes to the basketball team.
Yeah.
I see him posting pictures of, like, him playing golf all the time. He's, I guess, just always been a big sports guy.
I mean, like, you know, yeah, it would be cool to, you know, whatever, play guitar with him and do these things and stuff.
Yep.
But like, how many people say they get to go golfing with him and, you know, these other random, you know, things like that, like something that you wouldn't really expect. But, so I thought that was pretty cool.
I've stylized a lot of my playing off of him because he's rhythm and lead in a lot of the songs. I think, I'm going to blank on their new singer's name.
Oh, William Duvall.
Yep. Duvall. He's not new anymore.
Right.
He's been playing with him since like 2005 or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So William will play rhythm a lot. But I was gonna say because Jerry has some of the best guitar riffs of all time, in my opinion. Like, a lot of it is kind of rhythmic. Again, it's totally in tune with my capabilities and what I could do, and I've just stylized. But then he has like some of the best like high flying solos of all time as well. I don't know, man. He's such a creative writer, and he's really clever with his guitar work. And again, a guy, even though he's got this big like white goatee right now, he's just a guy who is just, again, soaked in like youth. He's just super youthful, and like, he's a fucking rock star too.
Yeah.
He like gets up on stage and he wears like leather pants with like flames up the side of them. It's like totally cheesy, but it's just cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love most, I don't know, kind of grunge guys from that era.
Yeah. I've got to see him a few different times, you know, but as with William, never.
I never did either.
Yeah, not with Lane, but I don't know. Yeah, that's a great show every time, and like,
it's an incredible show every time. I've seen them 3-4 times. First time I saw them, I mean, just blew my mind. I would say them and probably like Muse are probably up there with, like, for me, the most impressive like rock live shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Because Alice in Chains, they were just fucking flawless.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know, you know, maybe kind of bold to put it up there with it, but that, I just ran into you at that Fivefold show at Old Rock House.
Yeah.
And God, man, that felt so good. Like,
yep.
It was, just the energy in the room, the people, I mean, it was like a family reunion and a rock and roll show.
Yep.
And, but they, pulled out all kinds of cool tricks along the way. I mean, they did a lot to put on an incredible show, and
they're very they're never they haven't lost their edge with pushing things. they're not. None of those guys are okay with getting comfortable with how their show is, and every time they're playing here, putting on a big show in St. Louis, I mean, they're working their fucking asses off to put a cool new show out there. And, you know, I think it's that edge. That's what carries successful bands. It's just that yearning to constantly, what's the word? Not revolutionize, but just,
evolve or
evolve.
Something.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's how I feel like the band is constantly changing and and growing, and
I think that just kind of keeps your creative energy up.
Yeah,
is change, you know, and I think that's what that kind of energy feeds off of, is just stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping things new, keeping things fresh, moving things around and stuff like that. And those guys are just kind of feeding off of that, and it's working out really well for them.
Yeah. But there was a cool moment where like the band left the stage and they and Ryan did a solo acoustic.
Yeah.
And then that went into, blank on the name now. Won't Let Go, I think it was, maybe,
I think it's Won't Let Go, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was that song. I think it was anyway. But so like, and then Matt was like playing keys in the back of the room.
Yeah.
And for the beginning of it, I'm looking at the stage.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just like they queued up the track. I didn't realize, oh, Matt's behind me playing keys. Like I didn't. And then
I actually don't think I even saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. So like Matt's in the back of the room, like. With his keyboard set up there by the soundboard.
Oh, back by the soundboard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And yeah, it was really neat. And then I didn't notice until, because Ryan came through the room, and then when he did that, also the band rejoined the stage and stuff.
Oh, I remember when Ryan came through.
Yeah. But
it was a cool show.
Yeah,
it was just
it was a cool moment.
And you said the word reunion, and that's, dude, I really like Old Rock House too.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool little venue, and it's not even little. I mean, it's mid-size, I guess.
Caps around 400 or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
I would just say that it's just set up super conveniently, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had a bad time in there. And it sounds great.
Yeah.
It really did sound great that night too. They did a great job.
Yeah.
I love how they I just love the presentation of the new music video before the show. I think they've done that a couple times, and they've really timed out their like music video releases really well, like with shows and stuff like that. And that was a pretty cool presentation how they started out like that.
Plus, there was like some super hot dude right at the end.
What, Cornbread?
No, in the
Is that who you're talking
in
about?
the video, Cornbread is super hot. But,
He's just super hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's who I thought you were talking
Right.
about.
I was thrilled to be a part of that. I was
Oh, you were in the video?
I was in a small.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I'm
Right.
sorry. I need to watch it. Shit. I didn't see the end of it.
I was trying to make a joke and
Sorry.
But I was part of the last scene of the video. There was an art gallery moment. So
Oh, really? Damn
Yeah.
it, Shane. I got to watch it.
Yeah.
I got to watch the end there.
yeah,
Shit.
it's Al was making a joke. He's like, "Yeah, I think you got more screen time than I did." And I'm like, it's like,
That's funny.
it was cool, man. It was and then I watched. I got to sit in and as they were doing like the live performance part of the video and stuff.
Yeah.
And so watching them do that, and so that was neat. It was a fun day getting to hang with those dudes, and
Yeah.
they also treated us to some barbecue. So I mean,
Did they?
get barbecue and hang out with my dudes?
Those
and-
guys can fucking cook,
Yeah,
and I mean, they're making like an art form out of it.
yeah. It was so yeah. Shout out to Fivefold. I'm glad they're back, and they said they're back for good right now. They're like
Cheers to Fivefold.
Yeah, cheers to Fivefold. Check out Hindsight wherever you're getting your digital music at, and check out the video.
Watch it till the end.
Yeah, watch to the very end. All right. Okay. Well, this kind of ties into you cutting the. Well, you said it was more of a dare or a bet, but
Oh, yeah.
what about a song you wish you wrote? Is there anything that comes to mind that that you think about? Like, man, I wish.
It's probably a pop song.
Yeah.
I have a real appreciation for pop songs, and I would say even like a soft spot for pop songs.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of musicians will give pop song shit, but dude, it takes so much talent to make a good pop song, a good successful pop song, and I wish I could effectively dip into that genre a little bit, but I can't.
Yeah.
There's not one song in particular I'm thinking of, but like pop in general. I just wish I could, again, tastefully, efficiently, effectively dip into that genre. And I just don't have the vocal dexterity for it. And even from a producer standpoint, there's some elements I'll pull from that. I have a great appreciation for like well-placed like MIDI synths, which is foundational in pop music, I would say. And so I've kind of pulled that from pop music, and I think I would say that's maybe something I'm pretty good at. I just wish I could, no shame, dive headfirst into a pop song and pull it off, but I can't. I think that answers your question.
Yeah,
kind of for the most part.
Maybe you'll get the right artist to challenge you, to push you. Maybe you'll learn the next whatever it is to open that door to really dive into that. And,
I've had a lot of really great conversations with Pat Blair. He's been in the studio a couple times, and he shares that appreciation with me. And he's actually in here working on a cover song for a pop song right now, and that's actually been a really fun process. And that should be coming out soon. So Rocky, he's got some new music coming out. But again, I've had a lot of great conversations with him about the exact same thing, as just the talent and the work that goes into. Because a lot of people kind of view them as like musical fast food. It's just like in your head and out of your head, but it stays in your head kind of deal. And it takes a lot of work to do that.
Right.
And some of these writing teams, I was just looking at the writing credits for a pop song the other day. I think where the disconnect happens is that people will write off the artist who is appearing on the front of the album. But dude, some of the credits on some of these songs, there was like 15 writers on one of these pop songs I was reading about the other day. It takes a fucking army to write some of these songs. It's an incredible amount of work to put one of these songs out. Yeah,
I think it's like kind of almost to the, depending on the song and stuff. But there's like memes of it now. Like it was like something like whatever, Bohemian Rhapsody, written by
it's that purest classic rock mentality.
And then and then there's like Single Lady or whatever, or something like that from, or whatever it was, or some, from Beyonce or something like that. And then it was like, how cheesy the lyrics are or whatever, or the core, and but 15 people wrote the song. What it was like, it was that thing. It's like, I mean, I could isolate I could pull that from anything. It could be rock, whatever. It could just if you want to make your point, you can find ways to make your point, but it doesn't discredit from that the fact that these are still both of them were great songs. Both, it's like
even those cheesy pop songs like Single Ladies, like you said, where the lyrics are just all the single ladies over and over again. You can think that, but every single millisecond of that song was It was intentional.
Yeah.
Every single millisecond. It was placed there for a reason.
Right.
You take one thing out, it's going to change the entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's it's a crazy world that I don't know much about either. So
I really don't know much about it.
Yeah.
But I know I can't do it.
I like watching that. You ever watch Songland? You ever catch that show?
Oh shit. No.
It's on. I don't know if it's gonna do any more seasons or not, but it's for me. I like it because it's like the behind the scenes of the actual songwriter, and they pitch these ideas, and then they go into the studio with like Ryan Tedder
Cool.
from
Yep.
One Republic, or
Yep.
Esther Dean, who's done a bunch of huge like R&B and pop stuff, and like so, and then like Shane, whatever, I forget his last name now, but he's like in the country songwriting world and stuff.
Yeah.
So like they go into where like these producers and then like develop and make them this big thing. So, so some of them they completely change, but it's just like cool to see like the process. But like a guy like Ryan Tedder is just like a mad scientist with this stuff. Like, I mean, he knows how to make a great pop tune, and
You know what song it was? And he was on this fucking song. He's got to be making just millions and millions and millions.
I mean, he's
of
wrote all
dollars.
kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Because he's just one of those guys. I think it's well known now that he just finds himself on, like, you know, every other top Hot 100 or Hot whatever it is. But it was "Stay" by Justin. It was a Justin Bieber song, or it was like featuring Justin Bieber or something like that. But he was on it. I was like, I don't know, dude. You got to know what you're doing if you're
Sure.
Oh, what was I gonna say? It was Hooked on Pop. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on. It might be like on Netflix or YouTube or something. But it's about that whole topic of like the science behind pop music. It's a fucking awesome series.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I'll have to send you a link or something.
All right.
It's pretty fascinating. I think you would probably dig it.
Yeah.
It's just, again, kind of getting into the nitty gritty of the science and like what a pop song will do to your mind as you're listening to it and shit like that. It's kind of cool.
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like the one time, even became pop because it's popular music. So like, but now it's become where it's a genre defined like by this certain sounds and things and stuff. I mean, like, so I don't know. It's just like weird how music transitions to what people are expecting from a certain things and sounds and what's hot at the moment, but it's constantly evolving too, just like all this stuff. So it's like,
I think you equate music to moods. It's like an extension of your. I've always said music is like it's a tangible extension of your emotions. That's why you can, like, if you find yourself in a certain situation and you're feeling a certain emotion, you pull up this one song. And that's what pop music does. It's like, it's to like put you in a desired state of mind. And it's kind of like a drug, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, there's definitely songs they're like enhancers. For sure. Like, there's, if I'm feeling, wanting to party, there's those songs.
There's songs for that.
Yeah. And
there's a song for that.
If I'm, feeling emotional, there's definitely songs that'll make me cry and stuff. I'm like, so.
It's pretty wild. Music is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool stuff.
It is. I think I'll stick with it.
Yeah.
You should too. It's fun.
Yeah, man. Again, come over here and visit Gerald at Dungeon Studios in Collinsville, Illinois, and get you in the studio, record some fun stuff in here. And so do you like? Obviously, you're doing some podcasting stuff too. You're doing full production from live drums and everything in here.
Yep.
Do you like having that more of a producer hat, being able to help create these songs? Like, or do you?
Oh my God, yeah! I get the same like creative satisfaction out of helping someone else get to a desired end product, as I do writing my own song from start to finish.
Yeah.
I maybe even more. Like, I just think it's so fun. I just love the whole process, start to finish. I always have, and I think it's so fun. This has really allowed me to connect with people and work with people at a level that I didn't really get the opportunity to for a long time, with the exception of maybe the same people I had been working with over the last decade. I just love I'm in love with the process, and that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
The songwriting and producing process, whether it be my own stuff or someone else's. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of as many projects as I possibly can be in here. It's fun, dude.
So if I'm just I can also just be a solo guy and a guitar, and I can come over here and I can help. You can help me build some cool tracks and do some stuff like that too. I welcome. This is obviously, one guy could sprawl out in here. This is great. As far as the songwriting, I do enjoy songwriting, and I think I have over the years developed a fairly good knowledge on how to construct a song, lyrically, just foundationally, structurally. I'm a big fan of stripped down songs. I love doing that. I've always been doing that. And so really any sized song, I know that sounds like such a pitchy thing to say, but man, I love the big Disney vault, like big ballads, ballads. I've written those and I love them to death. But I also love the stripped down acoustic guy with like under a smoky lamp, like, you know what I mean? Like, sure.
I love it all. And it's just getting to that. It's like a story has its own song. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'm not even talking about the actual song lyrically. I'm just talking about even like constructing it.
Right.
And I love the whole story of how a song becomes reality.
Yeah, man.
No matter what the song is. I just dig the process. And I don't know. I think we've built a pretty cool place in here to accommodate most of that. Again, not a 50-piece orchestra, but I don't know.
Sure.
We can do a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, man. Well, very cool. I'm excited to hear what else you comes out of the studio and things.
Yeah.
And one of the other, we mentioned Easy Lover, but you said that could possibly be the start of a new EP later this year, right? We might. I
have. Oh, so I'm really in the demoing stage right now, and I have like 10 tracks. I'm trying to whittle them down. It'll be another EP. I don't know if I'll ever be able to put out a solo album. That's just so much fucking work. It really is, dude. And it'll probably be an EP, and it'll probably be towards the end of the year. I got some pretty cool music I'm working on right now. But it's just when I have time.
Sure.
Which who knows? I don't know. Maybe that will like really kind of push me into creative areas I've never been in before. And even just interacting with people. I think even doing that here in the studio, just musically interacting with people, that's going to like, I don't know how that's going to change my music, which I'm pretty excited about kind of deal.
Sure.
So who knows? I'm excited to hear just as much as you are how it turns out at the end of the year. So we'll see.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
We're getting find Dungeon Studios on your Facebook and Instagram, and you have artist accounts too for your music.
Yeah, I do, but they're mostly for promotional reasons. It's I do have an artist page on Instagram, I think it is, but it's mostly I'm sharing mostly through my personal pages.
Yeah.
For the most part.
All right. Well, get plugged in, and we'll let you know when we got some more tunes on the way and everything else. But yeah, man, it's been a fun day. I'm really glad we did this, and appreciate you having me out. And
come out all the time.
Yeah.
I'll pull the table out for you. It'll be great.
Yeah. Only the problem is it's like I would love to do the show here all the time, but it's like an hour from my house, so it's it's a little
Collinsville's. I don't know.
Yeah.
Collinsville's Collinsville.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it'd be worth the drive if I was coming to do a track or an EP with you and all those things. But for me, doing the podcast,
you got 1,000 episodes, so it's like, yeah, man, that's 1,000 hours of driving. If you're, well, no, it'd be double that. To and from.
Right.
If you recorded 1,000 episodes out here.
But there is Casey's Pizza, so that that sweetens the deal.
Yeah, I've only had their taco pizza. Are we going to end on Casey's taco pizza now?
Oh, we can. Yeah.
But it was delicious. It was very, very good.
Yeah. I hope to mention them enough to where one day they start sponsoring the show.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of part of the deal.
Yeah.
But
Good deal.
yeah, I mean, just give me some free pizza.
Yeah.
Well, I'll gladly accept that.
So maybe one of these nights, one of these weekends, Casey's Pizza and a magic show.
Hell yeah. Now we're talking. Date night. Yeah. All right, buddy.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it,
and
man.
I'll see you soon, my friend.
See you.
Bye, everybody.